like what are you trying to say? Obviously, like I went student, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I was a student. So Spanish speakers would totally know the difference. Okay, so now you know how to conjugate irregular verbs. You just have to drill those. Literally, I make my kids play like probably a game a day, just rewriting them over and over and over again until they master the spelling. So you have to do that on your own. Just rewrite the spelling and see if you make mistakes, and then rewrite it again. Okay, another thing that you have to do on your own is study the vocab, rewrite it again. It takes a lot of effort on your part that you don't have like a trainer there pushing you to rewrite these words. Okay, aside from the vocab, all you need to know is question words. So question words like cuál means which, and donde means where. And so you're going to talk on the test, you're going to have a conversation with a vendor. And so during this conversation, you're going to be deciding what question word you're going to ask. So like the vendor might ask you, like, who is this for? ¿Para quién? Like, es the necklace for? And you should know from your vocab, necklace is collar. So quién is who? Alright, you need to know small words like para means for. Alright, those are small words that you might have picked up in Spanish 1. Another question word you need to know is cuánto. Cuánto means how much. And I always tell people how cuánto and cuesta are like best friends. They never leave each other's side. Cuánto and cuesta go next to each other. So that's a good strategy to use on your test. Another strategy you want to make sure is como. Another question word you want to make sure you know is como. It means how. So like, how are you paying for it? Now remember, we have two options. We have dinero and efectivo. Okay, that's part of your vocab. That's you having to study your vocab. And tarjeta de crédito. Again, that's you studying your vocab and going through your vocab on your own, making sure you know this. Do some book work on your own and see if you can fit the right vocab word in the right space. The book work has a lot of vocabulary activities where my grammar worksheets are more about grammar, clearly. Okay. Like I said, cuál means which. So like if a vendor says like, which one do you want? Do you want the cheap one or the expensive one? Alright, you got to think about it like, where are you going? Who is it for? How much does it cost? How are you going to pay for it? In that aspect, you're going to have to think about like a vendor is selling it to a person. Okay, let's see. Oh, another word you should know, it's a small word, is precio. It means price. Alright, and that's also in the dialogue. Reading, like I said, reading is mostly vocab and trying to figure out whether things are in the past tense or the preterite. I'm sorry, in the past tense or the present. It's mostly vocab. You do need to know your verb conjugations. The third thing that will be on your test is answering questions and complete sentences. So you've answered these questions before, like if someone has asked you the question, ¿Dónde vas? And you probably have answered it, voy a la cafeteria. So you answer, I go to the cafeteria. Okay, so you know how to answer this. You know that this means where, and you know this means you go, and you know that we don't have do in Spanish, so we have to think about it like, where do you go? Well, they're going to ask you the same question, only what they're going to do is they're going to ask it in the preterite. So they're going to say something like, ¿A dónde? Not vas, because we're not in the present tense anymore. We're in the preterite. So we have to remember, what is the preterite of the verb ir? The preterite is fui, fuiste, fue. So instead of it asking vas, it's going to ask you ¿Dónde fuiste?
Okay, ¿a dónde fuiste is where did you go instead of where do you go, because we're asking it on the preterite. So then you have to answer it fui, excuse me. Like, again, you have to memorize those lists. Fui a is important because that's the two, and wherever you went to. So, like, I went, and remember you're on vacation, so a lot of people say they went to Florida, just for an example. All right. Another question they might ask you is, ¿qué compraste? Okay, well this is on the verbal. Well, here it is. It's the verb comprar, and we should know comprar is to buy. But it's past tense, so it looks weird because it's in the past tense. And then you just have to answer it, I bought. Well, what is the past tense of an AR verb? Remember, you have to feel comfortable with aste o almorzaron. So you go, oh yeah, it's compré, not compro. And let me tell you, it takes about a week for the students to get out of present tense and get into preterite. So it takes a while for them. And then whenever you decide to buy, using the vocab on page 79, there's an earrings, you can buy necklaces. Apparently you have to buy something for someone if you're a male. The culture notes, I should have given you the culture notes. They're in Spanish. There's not really any tutoring with that. I hope this helps. Let me know if you need anything else.